Hello, this is Darcy with Creative Animal Crafts, and today we're going to learn how to make these 3 mesh toys for your cat. Now the reason I started making these mesh toys was because this is one of my cat's favorite toys. As you can see, it is well worn and well loved. And when I went to replace it, I discovered they were 4 for $14, which makes them about $3.50 each. And that's a lot for a single cat toy, especially one that is destructible. And I noticed at Dollar Tree they had similar mesh for $1. And so I started playing around with it, and I started to construct 3 different toys that my cats seem to love, all with the same type of mesh. So let me show you how to do it today. First thing you're going to need, mesh tube. Now this is mesh tube I bought off of Amazon. I like the stuff I found at Dollar Tree better. But when I went back to Dollar Tree to get more, it was all gone and they haven't restocked. So I looked at Amazon. This mesh tube is a little bit narrower and a little bit more expensive, but it still averages to about 50 to 75 cents per toy, so it's still a good deal. You're going to look to spend probably about 40 to 60 cents a yard. So when you're looking at mesh, kind of looking, and that's the cost per yard. I also like to use this garden wire. Now this is stuff I bought at Joann's in the garden department. You can also use like a twisty tie. You get a better tightness to it, and then if you try to use other kind of like pipe cleaner or something. You're also going to need a needle nose pliers and probably a wire cutter, a couple of pipe cleaners, felt, which is optional, and some small pieces of felt. This felt is about 1 1/4 inch by 2 inches. For this first toy, you're going to need to cut a piece of your mesh tube about 8 to 9 inches long, and for each end, tie a knot and then trim the ends. Tying a knot, like a single knot, where you just kind of go like that, is pretty much the only way to secure this from unraveling. I tried other ways like gluing and even burning it, and it didn't work. Then take a piece of your wire and you're going to lay it down. You're going to take your tube and you're going to lay this over so that the knots kind of intersect each other, so you have an area here to wrap the wire. And when you get it kind of loose, they can then kind of pull this out so that you don't have as much space between them. And then tighten it. Take your wire cutters and kind of trim it off. And then you can take your pliers or your fingers and kind of mash it down so it's not poking out. All right. Now we're going to show you the other one, and then I'll show you how to add the felt. Now for the wreath, you're going to take a piece of mesh tube that is about 18 inches long. It's twice as long as your other one. And again, you're going to knot and trim off each end. And take your tube and kind of find where the center is. And then you're going to make your first tube, or first circle, like that. And then you're going to take your other end and you're going to start just kind of weaving it in and out, just kind of going with the way the mesh wants to kind of go. And I usually do about 3. Then, and again, you're going to cross these over like this. Then kind of grab just the 2 ends, and you can kind of play around with this so you kind of can maneuver it so you get it where it wants. Then grab that piece of tube again so you have all 3 like that. And you're going to wrap your wire. You're going to wrap your wire. Again, I'm just going to do kind of 1 to secure it. Then I can cut this so you can kind of see how And again, you can kind of get it so it however you want it to lay. Don't worry too much about it. And then you can secure this a couple more times. And trim it and fold it in. All right, now let's add the felt. All right, let me show you what I do with the glue. And I'm using hot glue here. If you're doing this with young kids, I'd probably use white glue, but hot glue will dry faster and make this go quicker. So I just do a little bit of line of glue, and I'm going to kind of press that down on there, kind of secure that. And then I'll flip this over. Go ahead and add a little bit of glue here. And I can, without getting the glue all over myself. Pull it tight. And then I will add some more glue right here. Press it down. And you're gonna do the same thing with this other piece. To make the ball, you're going to need a piece of cardboard, just a piece of scrap cardboard. This is about 5 inches long and 2.5 inches wide. The width is the important part here because this is going to be slightly smaller than your ball will end up. And you can make it larger or smaller if you want, but 2.5 inches is about the size that I like. Then you're going to cut a strip in the middle, not all the way down, otherwise you have 2 pieces of cardboard. And this will enable you to put the wire around the mesh. Now I have 3 feet of mesh tube. I've, again, prepared the ends. I'm going to take one end. I'm going to hold it slightly over the middle. And then I'm just going to gently wrap the tubing, not too tight, around the cardboard pieces. And I want to finish this so it's kind of just jump over the middle part right there. And I'll hold all this with one hand, take my wire. There's no elegant way to do this, especially when you're trying to do it on camera. And I'm just going to twist it once and pull it off. Don't worry about this being snug or where it is. Once it's off, you can kind of get this more in the center if you need to pull any of these tubes. But you're going to make it better in a minute. Right now we want to get this tight. So with your 2 fingers, you're going to push it down. So see how I have that? And then try and tighten it with your fingers again. Just don't do it too much. If you do it too much, this will break. Then take your needle nose pliers and hold that in and twist. And then because I can still pull these tubes through, the wire's not tight enough. If you do this right, you can again pull it down and twist tightly. You have to be careful because if you twist this too much, it will break. And now as I'm pulling the tubes, it's still coming out a little bit. I'm going to try to get a little bit tighter. Again, I put... Okay, now this is secure. So I'm trying to pull it, it won't come out. Okay, so once I've done that tight, I'll take my wire cutter, cut it off a little bit. Take this and mush it down. Now you're going to need your pipe cleaner and your belt if you have one. If you don't, that's fine. Loop this about halfway onto your pipe cleaner and take your pipe cleaner and you're going to pull it snugly around and just twist it once. And then I will wrap one piece that way around, another piece this way around. I'm going to twist this again, twist it twice there. Then I'm going to tuck this piece underneath the bow and tuck this piece underneath that side. Any extra, I will go ahead and just snip. So that way the sharp edges are directly under the bell and they're not going to poke out. Then once you got that part done, you can kind of make it poofier. However you want, you can kind of pull these a little bit, just kind of make it, and you're done. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. I plan on uploading more animal craft related videos in the upcoming weeks, so subscribe to receive notification. And as always, have a joyful day.